No, I don't go along with that. I don't believe that. No, a rapist doesn't necessarily have to be a murderer. In my case, he happened to be one.
I beg your pardon?
In my case, he would like very much to have killed me. No, he really did. I really bargained for my life for 2.5 hours. It was very, very clever. It was a very clever thing that I did. When I was questioned by the women at the police department, at Nassau County Police Department, they said, it was as if you had read a manual on what to do. I never made him angry. I never made him know I was afraid.
This person had a knife.
Yeah. And he wanted money. And I didn't have a dime with me. My secretary had $100. I didn't have a dime.
In the room?
Yeah. And he said, he didn't know who I was. Just picked a room. And 2 other rooms were also burglarized that night. Yeah. And I thought, gee, maybe if I tell him who I am, maybe... He said he was going to count to 20. And at the end of 20, if I didn't give him the money I had, which I didn't have, he was going to slice my throat from ear to ear. So I waited till 16. And at 16, I said, just wait 1 second. Look, you could do whatever you want, right? Because you got the weapon and I got nothing, including my clothes. So you can do whatever you want, but just to hear me out for a minute. I said, my name is Connie Francis, and maybe you don't know me because you're younger. You may not know me. I'm appearing down the street at Westbury. And this was, 1974. I said, I earn about $50,000 a week. And do you think that really I would risk my life if I had money to give you? I said, I have an $8,000 fur coat over there. It's 4 days old. I said, maybe you have a girlfriend, a mother you'd like to give it to, Have to carry that blank thing up the hill.
He said that?
Yeah.
He complained about the weight of the coat?
Yeah. Yeah, he thought that, I guess, this sexual night of splendor was worth much more than a fur coat and a topaz ring, I said, there's a topaz ring there, it's worth $200. I said, and there's a set of pearls, and I don't know if they're real or not. I wanted to be very honest with him. I didn't want to, I was fooling around with this guy. I didn't know how smart he was, and I didn't know I didn't know, So I said, no, they're not real. Because they weren't. They weren't the real pearls I bought.
This was counted down to 16 now?
Well, he stopped at 16. He listened to me.
And opted to take the coat and leave?
Well, I just didn't do that. He did a few other things before he left, but he yeah.
Remarkable. You talked him out of it.
Yeah. They say that rape is a crime of violence, and to a certain degree it is. But not all the way. I mean, I'm sure that if my husband were in the room, I wouldn't have been raped, This was a single situation, a single girl in a room that he went in to rob. And so you're there, it's fine. And,
but you can surmount it, right? You can surmount the experience?
Yes, you can surmount anything. You absolutely can surmount anything. I'll tell you, you need good friends. My friends were wonderful to me. I have 6 or 7 really special, that's a lot, special friends. And in the first few years after that, I would go to my girlfriend Ann's house every day, lie down on her bed and watch television. And she was a very social girl. She used to play tennis and we belonged to the swim club and have lots of girlfriends. And she gave all her friends up. She gave up all of her activities. She just sat down with me every day. Just watched TV with me. If I wanted to talk, we talked. If I didn't want to talk, we didn't talk. But she was there all the time. And you need people that are tough and that can pull you through it, I thought everybody who looked at me and said, oh, that was that girl that was raped, you know, negating all of the years that preceded it of a very wonderful Cinderella life, you know.
And for years after the rape, you virtually withdrew.
I didn't go anywhere. Literally, I went nowhere. I went to bed a lot.
Didn't sing?
Didn't sing. I never sang. I sang my baby to sleep every night.
At a certain point, in the midst of all of this, if I recall the research, you'd had an operation for singing because you were bothered in air-conditioned rooms, right? And that turned out, as I understand it, to be a disaster.
Totally.
And so you virtually lost your voice for about how long?
4 years.
And it came back as unexpectedly?
Overnight. On August 31st. August 31st. I had a friend of mine, a fellow I was dating, who was staying at my house for a couple of weeks. And it was about 12 o'clock at night. And he was urging me always to go back to work. And he was saying, you know, you don't sound that bad. It's just, you know, and he said, your records aren't that bad. I said, it's all tricks. Engineers. It's all mechanical. I said, I can't sing a song on a Carson show from beginning to end, straight through. I can't. And so I said, so please don't bring it up again because it's too painful and it hurts me and I've resigned myself to the fact that I can never sing again. So don't hassle me with it, you know, just don't bring it up. So this one particular night, that day a fan had sent me a copy of a tape of an Ed Sullivan show. It was the only live tape I had, you know. Fans have them all over the place, but I don't have them. So the Cole Porter medley I had written, and I was really proud of it because it was probably the best thing I had ever written or done, you know, on television. And I just kept staring at that envelope all day. And I wanted to listen to it so badly, and then I didn't want to, you know. So about 12 o'clock at night, I knocked on the guest room door, and I said, Ed, would you come into the study? I want you to hear something. And before I played him the Cole Porter tape, I told him about my career and how wonderful it was. What a wonderful life it was. Going to the White House and meeting the Queen of England and seeing soldiers in Vietnam and so many wonderful things, you know, that happened. And I told him without a lot of sadness, just told him. And then I said, now I want you to listen to something. And I played that tape for him for the first time for myself, too. And I started to cry for about 3 hours. I mean, really cried. And so did he. And he said to me, Connie, I think if I were you and I didn't have Joey as my son, I would have committed suicide. And that hit it home because I had thought of it very seriously for a couple of weeks. And that was at August 30th. And the next day I went into New York to buy a gown for the Dick Clark 30th anniversary special show. You know? And we were pre-recording that. You know, that was all tricks too. Pre-recording, do 20 takes on 4 bars, you know, do 4 bars at a time and do 20 takes until it sounds something like a voice. And so in the city I was walking along the street and I started to sing What I Did for Love, very quietly to myself. And I stopped and I got the chills. And because I had never been able to sing that song. It was so rangy, you know. So I didn't say anything, and then quietly I started to sing again, and I sang it the second time. And then I started to sing every song I've ever written. In the middle of the street, I said, stop it, wait, now I can sing. It was incredible. So Ed said, wait, you know, it's probably from a reaction from last night. He said, I think maybe we'll go back in the car and go home and we'll talk. And on the way home, back to New Jersey, I said, give me the Cole Porter tape. So I put it on, my cassette, and I sang it just the way I did when I first originally did it. And I said, pull off the side of the road. And I called my father first. And then I called my manager, George, and I said, George, book Westbury. He said, what are you talking about? I said, I can sing again. He said, we'll talk about it later, Connie. You know. And I said, no, George, I can't. Book Westbury. Now, I